Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Movie Hero Network, and this is the Lonely Marks Wrestling Podcast. Right now, it's just me and Richie, but we'll be joined at least by JPO here in just a little bit. Jacob Barber is a little under the weather; he won't be joining us tonight, but we're still going to have a good show regardless. Richie, what's going on? How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. There's a lot of chatter in my house at the moment, but that'll die down. But yeah, no, not too bad. Going okay. So excited to talk about the show. It was one of the better crowds I've heard in quite a while. Yeah, just kicking about usually. Yeah, same old, really.
Tell
Just
those people in the background if they're going to do chatter, at least do some kind of la 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 la, and some kind of France chant or
one,
something.
two, separate
Yeah.
They did that all night. Anyway.
Yeah, that was the one. We'll talk about it when we get there, but that was the one that did get a little old after a while, to be honest.
Yeah, like
took a little
how
bit
do you not how do you not get it reminded me of we'll get to it, but that there was that meme years ago that guy out Super Dragon.
Oh yeah, and then he went out there in the crowd and damn near beat the shit out of him. That was fun. Yeah, that just wouldn't stop. It's it's time to watch the match now. But no, we'll get to Backlash. We're going to talk about Backlash in France here in just a little bit. But as always, we'll get into some news to get started. And nothing earth shattering, but there's a few things going on that we could talk about. You brought up something to me that was kind of a passing news story about Jerry Lawler. That Jerry Lawler was released, I guess, from his. Did he have one of those Legends contracts?
I think
I'm assuming.
Yeah, well, I think he's on the payroll with those, he would often appear on those. I think, and JPO, and probably you agree too, the sort of pointless pre-show panels where they're like, "Hey, who do you think's going to win?" It's and they often guess wrong.
AKA the stuff I skip when I watch a replay of one of these shows. Yeah,
and I think he's on the payroll as hey, if someone can't, if a color commentator is away, you get Jerry Lawler in there. But I think it was just and I think he's still technically in the Legends deal that if they want him for an appearance, he'll show up. But I think maybe they just thought look, he's I don't even know if they would be probably just thinking look, I don't know if they'd be able to use him as a fill-in because he's a fill-in personality just because he's had a rough go of it the last couple of years. He just had he had a stroke not that long ago, and so I don't know how how recovered he is. So it's just I don't know if they want to I don't know the odds of putting him putting him out there if someone was to fall ill or an announcer was to need time off or whatever. I think there's probably the people there, or people on their payroll, other people they could do that could that could fill a job a lot easier. So I get that from that standpoint. But yeah, that the dude hasn't really. I think that's the first time he's officially left. Since 2001 when he briefly left.
Yeah, when he left for the 9 or 10 months that he was gone, with that issue with the cat, his girl at the time, and when they fired her, and then he quit in protest, and then left, and then we got the greatest team for my money, that short-term team we've ever had with JR and Paul Heyman, which I still contend is an amazing commentary team that I wish had lasted. I mean, look, say what you will about the Invasion era, it wasn't greatly booked, but I go back and watch those shows mainly even just for JR and Heyman on commentary because they're awesome together, and they had he was a phenomenal heel commentator and just brought something new to it, and and then obviously he came back, and it made sense for him to come back after the Invasion thing. They kicked Paul Heyman out, and then he took some time off and came back with Brock Lesnar, obviously. But like I said, he's been consistently with the company since the early 90s at least, maybe 93 or 93, maybe something like that, 94.
And I think it was one of those things, and they scouted him because obviously he was a big huge we were talking about him sort of last week. He's a huge star in Memphis, and so
Mhm.
yeah, like yeah, that obviously really charismatic. So and yeah, he certainly yeah, like yeah, I think he's a really like as color commentator. So obviously, some of the stuff like you go back now, some of the stuff he cringed, but he's still like his chemistry with JR is unmatched.
Mhm.
And that, I mean, maybe now, like I don't know what you can do, but maybe now, like you could do a one-off like thing with JR and AEW and before and like if before both of them hang it up. I don't know. That'd be
JR had some statement the other day. I did see that in my news feed when I was looking up stuff that said he doesn't think you've seen the last of him and JR or excuse me, JR and King call a match together or something like that. So I mean,
Mm.
maybe it could happen again at some point. I don't know how much I need a 2024 King and JR calling a match, personally. We'll see, unless it's just some kind of like one off for one match or something. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't need it on a consistent basis. I'll say that.
No, I
Yeah.
feel like it'd be JR kind of like trying to be interested as well as and then trying to pull King up on saying inappropriate shit. No, no,
Yeah.
no, no,
You don't want him calling like a Tony Storm match. I'll say that.
yeah,
Or yeah, some women's division thing. That's for sure. Hey,
uh,
one night only. JR and Jerry Lawler call a bra and panties match between Tony Storm and Mercedes Moné. Excellent.
yeah.
Sounds good.
I believe like there was a he briefly like when he had that sabbatical or whatever, from 2001. He briefly did commentary, I believe. Like Ted DiBiase had a promotion briefly,
Mm,
like some sort of, it was can't remember what it was called, but it was like had well, it's obviously like Christian elements, but I can't remember what it was called. I think he did commentary for that. I think he did, and there was like a promotion like right before like Impact sort of thing. It was sort of like you know, almost TNA ish, but yeah, it was like almost pre TNA. It had a lot of the TNA roster that would become TNA roster. It was WWA. It was based like
mm.
they based a lot of their stuff in Australia. That's when like Nathan Jones was on there, and I think he like maybe a couple of shows did stuff for that. So yeah, um, I yeah look, it's I get why they would probably um, why that they would release him. But I think he's
There's a wrestling forum. WXO, Ted DiBiase's failed promotion from 2000. So
yeah,
it's called UXO, I guess. At least for that.
yeah.
They taped 3 episodes of television, and that was that. Although it says in 2000. So I don't think that the timing adds up, though, on that one.
Oh, maybe I
Yeah.
just I remember him, but maybe it was what was the other? I don't remember if it was WX. Was that no like was it XPW? I think he might have done something for that. Maybe it was
Okay.
XPW. It was some other promotion he did commentary for briefly,
Mm,
very briefly. Um, yeah, because I saw on like wrestling. I forgot Brian Zane's one. I think he did some deep dive into something,
yeah.
and then I saw Jerry Lawler on there. But yeah, but the only reason I know Ted DiBiase even had a promotion was because of the wrestling was great. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. But yeah, it's but yeah, yeah, look, I think I think King will be all right. Like he could still probably make conventions, make a lot of money there. You
Mhm.
know, I don't know if he's still. I still don't even know if he's officially retired. He probably still wants to.
I,
Yeah,
I I would advise him if I was his advisor after a stroke to not participate anymore in active competition, even on the indies, even if it's just like very basic style matches and whatnot. Yeah, but I mean, I could see him obviously still making appearances at different shows and conventions and still doing his thing around there. So yeah, I mean, he could still do it in that capacity. But I think remember he had it like. And he had that stroke a couple weeks before the Hall of Fame, and then that kind of hindered the Andy Kaufman thing because I think he was going to full on like do the induction obviously, and then he
yeah,
just had that one like brief video, like a minute long little video or something like that, and it was
yeah,
kind of it was just that and like a video package about Andy, and that was pretty much it.
yeah. It was just like it was just yeah. He just sort of it was like a kind of a yeah. He just filmed the video and they played that. So, but it's obviously a bit anticlimactic given what they planned, but it's better than nothing. But yeah, um, Yeah, so I mean, yeah, I guess he's probably like Ric Flair in a way, where it's like, you know, he needs sometimes you'd think maybe he needs to be protected from himself.
Oh, you mean like the Ric Flair video that made the rounds this week of him
What
getting
about
kicked out of another bar and
a pizza
being
joint? Yeah, it was a pizza place.
yeah,
Pizza
pizza
joint, yeah.
place, yeah, the bar of a pizza place getting kicked out for being drunk off his ass and yelling at the staff and then trying to save face by saying he was going to tip one of the waitresses like $1,000 and yeah, and then wanting to fight patrons of the place, which by the way, Rick, you're like 80 years old, bro. You ain't winning no street fight. I'm sorry. Like it's not this ain't this isn't the 80s anymore, bro. You ain't winning a street fight, maybe even against the most feeble other competitor, bro. You're having heart attacks when you try to wrestle again. Like, stop.
Yeah,
So yeah,
he,
that footage was a little cringy.
he said, like, because first time when I became aware of it was like he posted, you know, on Facebook how I'm not gonna, you know, sort of basically leading his, like, you know, group of fans to, like, you know, bombard the, you know,
Oh, the pizza place.
bombard the pizza place, like, and he, if you look at his Facebook, he types weird, like he's one of those dudes who capitalizes every letter of a sentence.
Oh god, cat. That's called that's what we like to call in the when you boomer caps lock engage. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's like, but every like first letter of a sentence, he'll capitalize it, and just
mhm.
like it's just like that. And then yeah, but he said he spent like $1,500 on things. I'm like, dude, like, and he's like, I spent $1,500 on pizza, and then the owner or whatever took too long in the bathroom. I'm like, or something like that, or whatever. I'm like, okay, obviously this is before the video came out, so I'm like, I don't know the full story, but it's like, who spends, like, you don't have to spend $1,500 on pizza. No one does, like,
No, even the largest pizza at a pizza joint would be $30 tops. So yeah, what are you buying?
what are you buying,
Well,
dude?
I think it's just alcohol. He was buying like shots at the pizza bar
Yeah,
and just racking up a bill. Yeah, and
yeah,
probably just he might have even been buying other people's shit because just that's what he does.
yeah.
Yeah, it was something about like, oh, I've tried to put this place over or whatever. And apparently, like, he doesn't even like the pizza place, but he kept going there. It's like, bro, like there are other there are other places to go. If you don't
Yeah,
like somewhere, you can go somewhere else.
yeah, it can go.
It's
Yeah,
like, yeah, but it was in Florida because of course it was, and I I'd have some experience with. I think it was in Gainesville, and I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. And yeah, it was a whole mess. Yeah, if you haven't seen the video, it's just Ric Flair being drunk and slurring his words and yelling at people, and it's kind of embarrassing. I think he finally came out yesterday or something and like apologized for it or something like that.
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe it took him that long to sober up from the incident because he seemed
yeah.
pretty
It's a
drunk.
bit sad, but yeah, like the unfortunately, that Rick has a pattern of, like, you know, it's like, and there are people like this in my own life, and everybody knows people like this, where
Mhm.
nothing is, like, you know, whenever they get into drama, it's never their fault.
Yeah,
It's,
no, you got to blame it on somebody else or somebody else started it or yeah, even though if overwhelmingly people witnesses to the incident say the contrary. It's like, yep,
yeah,
nope, nope, wasn't my fault. This person did this. Yeah, no, I in most cases like that, all I had to do was watch 10 seconds of the video. No, he's drunk, and no, yeah, I don't think the pizza place is probably at fault on this one. He probably just drank too much and made an ass out of himself. Like I figured that out pretty quickly. You know what I mean? Like and he has a history of that, so it's not hard to deduce. Yeah, what probably happened here because all they were trying to do was cut him off. Like they just said, we're cutting you off because you're making a fool
yeah,
out of yourself and you're really, really drunk. And the bar and every bar in America, Richie, has the right to cut you off if you're too drunk and you're causing a problem. They can do that. That's within their rights to do that. And
yeah,
then possibly tell you to leave if you're causing a problem. That is within the rights of every bar and restaurant in America. So I can say that, and that seems like that was the incident. So I'm with the pizza place on this one. I don't care what
yeah,
Ric Flair says.
yeah, yeah.
I don't believe you, Rick. If you say you're not at fault on this one, I don't believe you. We've all seen the plane ride from Hell Vice episode. It's not pretty.
Yeah.
So,
He's probably, because even before that, I think he got really upset that he's like, apparently, like, WWE, they're producing another, like, Death of WCW documentary. I'm like, also, like, I feel like we've heard the story already.
Yeah, do we need that? We had the Monday Night War stuff. I have Brian Alvarez's book, which is a really good book about the death of WCW.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that topic has been like done to death. Do we need another documentary about so that WWE can brag about them beating WCW in the logs? I feel like that's what everyone turns into, is just them bragging about, WCW dying essentially.
But yeah, so this is produced by like Silverback Productions, which is the Rock's production company. But like, yeah, but I think
Which sucks, by the way. His production company is horrible. But yeah, please continue.
have they produced that?
No, the
Like,
guy who runs it is like the guy who just used to like his assistant, his personal assistant.
okay.
The guy who runs that production is like Rock's bitch boy for like the last 20 years on all of his movies. It's just the guy who gets him water and probably gets rid of the pee water as we've seen come out in the last couple of weeks. Like, he's just his bitch boy that he kept trying to push as like a producer, and then got him to run his production company. And nobody wants to work with him in Hollywood because he doesn't know what he's doing. So yeah.
But basically you got that, and then like, yeah, apparently. I mean, I'm with him on this, but apparently Ric Flair wasn't interviewed for it. It's like, yeah, if you are doing a death of WCW, you probably Ric Flair is their biggest star. You probably want to talk to him about it. I don't know.
At the same time, he kind of was, but I don't feel like in the late '90s he really was. He was kind of in and out of the promotion in like the late '90s and 2000s. Like they did, and the stuff he did was really silly with him being like the president, but not the president, but he was the president, but he wasn't the president, and then like killing him in a field, literally leaving him for dead in a cornfield, and like all the weird stuff they did with him.
And then he sued. He sued, like legit sue Eric Bischoff. He literally sued.
Yeah, he sued Eric Bischoff. Yeah,
Eric Bischoff while he was still on the contract.
Yeah, just like Hogan sued Vince Russo while he was under contract. Yeah, it's. I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah, the promotion was a mess, and there's still obviously things to talk about. But I feel like I don't need another documentary about that. But we'll see. Whatever. Anyways, but let's get back to some more current news. We can talk a little King of the Ring happenings because we're in the middle of that right now. And I just want to say before we get into the actual King of the Ring matches, I know they've announced some outside of the bracket matches. Officially for Saudi, some outside stuff. So I believe Becky Lynch has a match against Liv Morgan. Am I right?
Yeah, Liv Morgan. So
yeah, they've got a women's title match, and just one other one. Sami Zayn is going to defend his Intercontinental title in a triple threat against Bronson Reed and Chad Gable. That match should be great.
That should be great. Yeah, I am. Speaking of pizza, I mean pizza.
Did you? Is that pizza worth $1,500?
No, maybe in a few years if the cost of living goes up. But
yeah, that's true. Yeah, a large pizza will be $1,500. Oh shit! Well, do I get pizza tonight? I don't know. Do I want to eat the rest of the year?
Do I get pizza or pay rent?
Yes.
That should be great. Honestly, we'll get to it when you do, predictions in a couple of weeks. But that's a tough match to call, to be honest.
Oh yeah, no, because you could have Chad Gable maybe take it and start building him as I kind of like it when I think that's a title where it may benefit more to have like heels have those mid card titles, just because then you can have baby faces sort of chase it. That's why the Gunther thing I think worked for a little while. So yeah, I can see Chad Gable maybe going over that, having a little run with it for a little while. That could work, and have him feud with some of these other guys. And even Bronson Reed, if they want to elevate him, he would be a fun kind of big meaty monster champion. So I'm not against that either.
Yeah, I could see because Chad Gable being it could add to Chad Gable's frustration. Like, I'm so blinded by my hatred for Sami Zayn that someone else won the time. Like, I know that.
Yeah. And then as far as the actual King of the Ring matches, we had some opening Raw matches. We had Gunther and Sheamus, which was pretty cool to see, kind of in an opening round. I haven't completely watched it yet. They have uploaded it, so I apologize for that. I meant to watch it before we did, but I did see the aftermath pictures. Sheamus was not so pale white anymore after that match, so that was interesting. Gunther moving on in the tournament. Ilya Dragunov and Ricochet apparently having a fun, quick match. I did see the final few minutes of that one. I like Dragunov a lot. I could see him getting I think Triple H is pretty high on that guy. I can see him having a pretty steady push, over the next year. Whether or not he has any titles or anything, we'll see. But I could at least seeing them, putting him over as a pretty regular, Raw competitor and a contender. So, because he's an NXT guy. So I think Triple H, will take better. I'll say I think Triple H will take better care of these guys who get called up than Vince did.
Vince would make him like a stereotypical Russian heel or whatever.
Make him like Vladimir Kozlov or something like that. Coming out like singing the anthem, just waving a flag. So instead of just being this dude who's super, his gimmick is just he's the most intense competitor you'll ever see, and he fights for his life every match, which is a great gimmick. He's awesome. That's why I like him. He's got that I've compared him a little bit. He's got that kind of Benoit intensity to where it feels like he's just he's just got that constant ruthless intensity sort of thing, which I really like. So I think he's going to have some amazing matches over the next year or so with a lot of those guys on the roster. So I think it's going to be fun. I mean, we see Carmelo Hayes had a match with Cody Rhodes, so that's cool. He's getting a push, over there.
Yeah, and he was drafted pretty early, so I'm guessing that they have big plans for him going forward, which makes sense. He's really good, so I could see him being one of the main guys on SmackDown for a while.
Yeah, Trick Williams is getting over pretty good. Crowd's into him. He's having he's gonna get a good push here in the next year or so as well. I think they're taking good care of these guys so far. As far as they don't have to win every match, but you don't have to win every match in wrestling. It's fine. You can lose every now and then. It's okay. You have good matches, gets you over the crowd. It's good. Ilya Dragunov beat Ricochet. Jey Uso beat Finn Balor. Hey, JPO, how's it going?
Hi, everybody.
Hey.
I'll tell you what happened off air.
Okay, yeah, no, you alluded to something, but we'll keep that for off the air. Personal matters. No, it's all good. We're just talking some news. We talked a little Jerry Lawler. Talked a little Jerry Lawler. Talked a little,
What about Jerry Lawler? I don't even know.
That he got released.
He got released. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
You didn't hear that? Oh, okay.
He didn't
breaking news to even me.
Gotcha. He didn't do anything wrong. Though. I think they just cut him.
They just didn't either renew the contract or whatever. Yeah, it's like a off
I would
air
imagine
on
he's on
personality.
one of those legends deals. Obviously, no longer a current TV personality, so probably just a cost cutting measure of hey, we're paying you X, we're using you X.
Yeah. No, we just talked about Ric Flair acting a fool in a pizza joint. Yeah. So.
What happened there? Jesus, I'm sorry. Break it down real quick. I'm sorry.
No, listen, all you need to know, Ric Flair in a pizza joint, drunk off his ass, acting a fool. That's really all you need to know. You can probably fill in the gaps from there. Ric Flair not taking responsibility for his actions. And
hopefully he didn't take his cock out. That's all I can say.
No, he kept his clothes on from what I can tell, but, threatening to fight people in the place and just being an idiot. So, just doing his thing. You can go see it. The footage is out there. It's around. No, we were just kind of getting into sort of current King of the Ring news. We talked about the two non-King of the Ring tournament matches they announced for the Saudi with the Intercontinental 3-Way and the Becky Lynch Liv Morgan match. Yeah, and then we were just kind of getting into some of the Raw matches that happened.
Yeah, the thing I was going to mention about because we were going to mention the Jey Uso Finn Balor. I was we should probably mention that was meant to be Drew McIntyre Finn Balor, but they pulled. I don't know for storyline reasons, because storyline reasons that actually makes sense. I know he is actually dealing with the hyperextended elbow, but also for storyline reasons, it does sort of tie into the CM Punk overarching thing. So
yeah,
but yeah, and if it was,
I could also see storyline wise and making sense too, because unless you're going to let Drew win, he's still kind of such a big player. Just keep him out. You know what I mean? He's not going to win it probably.
Yeah.
So don't have him lose it either, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the other story that just broke is that they pulled Bobby Lashley from the opening rounds of the tournament. They say for an injury, but again, is it a kayfabe thing just so that Tama Tonga doesn't beat Bobby Lashley? They
replaced him with Angelo Dawkins.
Angelo Dawkins of his stable.
So Tama probably go in.
Yeah, so I mean,
now, if it was Montez, But yeah, Tama.
Yeah, it's Angelo Dawkins is replacing Bobby Lashley on the other side, and obviously tomorrow on SmackDown we'll get those some of those opening round matches, and then they delayed Kofi and Ray to a house show, I believe, this weekend.
Yeah, that was the weird thing. They're like,
Yeah.
3 of them on Raw and then 1 on the live event. What the?
I think. Yeah.
I think they booked like 8 matches for Raw, and I was like, I don't know if they're going to get to 8 matches in a 3-hour television taping because it's just
what I don't like.
There. Yeah,
there's another show called Main Event, dude. On that, let us watch it. It's King of the Ring.
Yeah,
why is this on a house show? For once, make Main Event fucking matter. That's my point of view. Like, hey guys, remember that other show we never talk about on Hulu? Watch Kofi versus Ray this week, you know?
Hey, that would be a big match for Main Event, given the fact they're usually doing like a Creed brother versus somebody and, whatever is usually their go-to.
I enjoyed the early days of Heat where it truly felt like another kind of show. Now, I'm not saying that's what it should be every week, but if something organically cannot fit on Raw,
on Main
Event. Same thing with like, I kind of wish there was 2 of them now. When there used to be Main Event and Superstars, and they were like Main Event, I think was Raw, and Superstars was SmackDown. Same thing. If something organically cannot fit on SmackDown, put it on Superstar. Like, this is a perfect example of that. So, I just find it weird that it's going to be on a house show that no one will see. Maybe they'll release a clip of it on the YouTube or Raw just to kind of show you. Oh, by the way, here's the fans. But I just find that weird, and that also sounds like a dope match too on a second level. Like, I kind of want to see.
Well, you could have done that, and if you had, to trim it down, you could have put one of the women's matches on there too, and at least be like, hey, you want to see 2 King of the Ring opening round matches on Main Event this week? Like, go check it out. Like, we got some, and do the same thing with SmackDown. You had to put one of those on main, on something else. Like, just put it on something else. Like, get them out there.
Yeah, that's my qualm. Yeah.
Yeah. So no. So
it is interesting though. Like, we're I mean, it's still cool they're going, but like, if you say Kofi Kingston versus Rey Mysterio, you think, is this 2008? No, 2024. It's still going.
Yeah. But and then on the other side, the opening round SmackDown matches. I got the bracket kind of pulled up on my phone here. I meant to pull it up on the overlay. I didn't do that. I apologize. But we got AJ Styles versus Randy Orton, so should be a good match there. You got Baron Corbin and Carmelo Hayes. So we could potentially see maybe Carmelo Hayes move on and face AJ or Randy. That could be good stuff there. You're muted, JPO. You're talking, but we can't hear you.
I would imagine Carmelo, but Baron kind of needs to win too. So that's an interesting one though. But I would imagine.
Yeah. No, we'll see what happens there. LA Knight.
It's Randy's first singles match in ages because he's been doing tag matches, I guess.
To 4s and 3s and tags.
Maybe to sort of. To sort of protect himself, I guess. But like, maybe this will be his first singles match.
Ease his way in, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And then his last singles match on pay-per-view was the match with the Fiend at WrestleMania.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That's a long time ago.
Santos Escobar versus LA Knight. I imagine LA Knight will probably take that one, most likely.
Yeah.
And then, it was going to be Bobby Lashley versus Tama Tonga, but just announced, I think, today or something. Lashley is out and Angelo Dawkins is in. So most likely Tama Tonga going to probably take that one to get the push going.
At least that first round. Yeah.
At least the first one. Yeah. I mean, we'll see about the other one. Probably some interference maybe here and there from Solo. We'll see. Or
interfering?
Yeah, I know. You don't say, right? Or from Tonga Loa, who we'll talk about debuting at Backlash, and not a lot of us saw that one coming. Boy, did we all say Jacob Fatu maybe showed up, but boy, did we pick the wrong button.
I've thrown his name out there before because again, WWE alumni, he's more associated with Tonga or Tama than Jacob by a mile. So I always kept saying Jacob because everyone was saying Jacob, but I always mentioned Tonga when I could.
Yeah, I guess in hindsight we should
Tonga, Finger Funga, whatever.
We should have probably put his name out there more because they are a big tag team in New Japan.
Yeah, the Gorillas.
Yeah, it's weird on paper. It makes way more sense, but everyone was saying Fatu.
Well, I think just because we Tonga Loa was signed, but it wasn't like it was a while back, so like we all kind of forgot about that, and then everybody was like, Jacob Fatu, like when is he? So I mean, he might still obviously be showing up in the next couple weeks or a couple months, but we'll talk about that.
I hope so. The dude's talented. I thought he was going to jump ship to TNA, if not WWE, a while ago, but stay with MLW for whatever reason. So we'll see.
Yeah. But that's kind of what's going on in the King of the Ring right now. So it'll either be Gunther in the second round against either Rey Mysterio or Kofi, most likely Rey, but that could be a good match.
Ray's going to get destroyed.
Yeah, that'll be a hell of a David versus Goliath match. That'll be sure. That'll be fun. And then Dragunov and Jey Uso for next week. That Raw is going to be in Greenville. I contemplated going, but I have to wake up at 4 a.m. the next morning to fly to get to the airport. So I don't know if I want to be up till stumbling back in my house at like after midnight and then getting a 3-hour nap, 4-hour nap, and trying to go to the airport. So we'll see. I may on the whim decide to go. We'll see. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on as far as that goes. Just a couple of AEW notes. I know Kenny Omega did the announcement, right? They're going to have another Anarchy in the Arena match between the Elite versus, I believe, FTR, Bryan Danielson, and Eddie Kingston. Yeah, so there's going to be another Anarchy in the Arena match at Double or Nothing, which I'm sure will automatically has already gotten 5 stars from Dave Meltzer. So I'm looking forward to that.
Dave Meltzer already has the pre-write up. Yeah, he's got the
he's already written that up.
I wonder how many camera cuts and stuff. Hopefully they work that out where it's not like you know what I mean.
Do more double. If you got to double it up,
hey,
do more double.
We'll talk about that. But on Backlash, you know what I liked? They used a split screen during the street fight and showed us when they were separated. One guy was up in this corner, another one was this corner. Yeah, like, hey, what a concept, right? You could do a split screen and choose what to watch.
If it was Kevin Dunn, I'd be throwing up in the corner.
Yes. No, I definitely don't want that. No, the production has been much, much better. But yeah, I think that was the only kind of new thing announced really for Double or Nothing was Anarchy in the Arena being kind of officially announced. I saw something about on Collision, Dynamite Kid's nephew is going to debut.
Yeah.
And have a match against Dax Harwood. Yeah. Yeah. Did you see this, JPO?
I missed that.
Yeah.
I was just saying the other one was, I believe, Adam Copeland and Malachi Black's pretty much all but confirmed, now.
Yes.
But yeah.
Yeah. I was trying to look up the actual guy's name. It's like Tommy something.
Tommy Billington.
Tommy Billington. Yeah, Dynamite Kid's nephew to make a debut on May 11th. Collision. Yeah, Dynamite Kid. He's being billed as Dynamite Kid Tommy Billington. So legit Dynamite Kid's nephew.
Oh yeah, I think I feel like he's done some MLW stuff actually. So yeah, I think I've seen him actually.
Okay, but yeah, there you go. So you're gonna get to see him in action.
And speaking of, not speaking of, but I'm about to look up something. Chris Jericho name dropping cage match on Dynamite, which quite made me laugh as a huge cage match supporter.
Right. Well, that's your go-to for your fact checks, right? And your matches and whatnot.
It's great. Your appearances. It's like the best kind of build archived out there, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's good shit. I can't say I haven't looked up. When I want to watch a random match for some promotion, looking up stuff to watch. So good stuff there. I didn't have a whole lot else other than that, unless you guys had any other little tidbits you want to do. Of things you want to throw out there, any other random topics and whatnot. Not a groundbreaking week for news, just a few little things going on. Does anybody else have anything? No?
Yes. No, I was just saying, they've appeared for MLW a few different times. So there's 2 of them, Thomas and Mark Billington. So I don't know where Mark is, but Thomas, has been hitting it hard pretty recently. A lot of stuff in Canada still. So this is kind of his biggest break. Definitely his biggest break so far.
For sure, and Dax is a good wrestler, so if he's good, that should be pretty solid.
That makes sense. And for once, except for his own partner, maybe Dax can get a win because his singles record sucks.
Yeah. I feel like he always has these really good matches, but he never wins.
Great matches, God forbid one ever got hurt. Like they easily could be a solid single star, but it's always been. I think, and it makes sense. He's primarily a tag guy, so when he is in a match with whoever, it's usually you're jobbing. So at least for this case, let's get him a win because I think legitimately his only win so far is a partner.
I think also officially announced Tony Storm and Serena Deeb for
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I said that.
Yeah, which that didn't go off too well on Dynamite. People love Tony so much that Serena Deeb was telling a really heartfelt, "Hey, I had these seizures. It's really scary because the doctors don't know why or when it might happen. So you gotta live life by the moment because you never know what's gonna happen again." And it didn't get that much love, and then Tony came out and everyone's like, "Yeah, it's Tony." So it's just the dynamic's still not working. I feel like AEW still just needs to embrace it. Like we love Tony and put her with heels and just have her be this fun. She can still play exactly how she is. Because Tony even made me laugh. She goes, my dear, I don't give one shit about what you just said. Like she's so really, even though Serena's saying really nice, like intimate things. So again, like the dynamics are a little bit off. But the match, I like Serena Deeb.
You just got to read the room. She's You might have planned for her to be a heel, but she's babyface.
She's fully made that turn to where the crowd is just there. Yeah, it's not a.
We're in, anymore. Baby.
Yeah, we're all in on Tony.
Put her with Taya Valkyrie, have her fight heels, or something like or But yeah, this dynamic was definitely off Wednesday.
Yeah. You appreciate heel work so much that they become a babyface. You appreciate.
I mean, it's kind of similar to MJF's, turn as that, like, he became our devil, our scumbag kind of thing. You know what I mean? They went with it that time. In fact, that time I kind of felt they could have stayed with him being a heel. But like this one, I just feel so obvious. It's not. Come on, you gotta go for it, guys.
Yeah, for sure. So if there isn't anything else, we'll move on to kind of our main event. We'll keep it kind of a fairly short show tonight. Again, not a whole lot going on. But yeah, let's talk about Backlash. Backlash in France, in Lyon. In France, yes. Vive la France. And vive la French crowds, because my God, good God almighty. What's there to say that hasn't already been said a million times, but Jesus Christ. This crowd was
even Triple H made a fun statement on the post-media scrum of like, I was afraid they were going to peter out because they were crazy, during the pre-show. But no, still the main event they were with it. So
I did read, by the way, that their first option they did try to do Paris, but like because the Olympics are going to be there soon, like in a few
everything's getting ready for that
in a couple of months. So like they couldn't really they couldn't really accommodate them. So Leon got it, which is, what? I'm glad they got to go to France anyway.
Yeah, I don't mind them going back because unlike the Australia show, this was a nice afternoon show for us in the States. Get it done. If you weren't working, get it done at noon, and you're done by 3.
Yeah. No, I got off work even, and I started watching it at the gym right after work. Watched the opening match. Got home, watched the rest of it, nice and breezy, and I was done by about 7 o'clock. So great, and got to bed at a reasonable hour. Excellent.
I'm sorry if our time zones are too difficult for you guys.
I'm just saying. Your show, it was like, let's got to stay up till 3 a.m. or what fucking.
Yeah, let's start it at 2 a.m. and watch Elimination Chamber. No, thank you. No.
The other quick fun. I think we talked about this off air and somewhere else, but the quick funny note too is go to CM Punk's Instagram. He got locked inside the HQ. I watched all those videos. They're kind of funny. So
I watched like 2 of them. Yeah, and it was him just like being like, "Well, I might as well go back to the gym or something. It's the only place I can get into." And
gym, it's a really nice gym. And hey, look at this cool wall painting.
I was like, he should have just found some office that has like a couch in it and just taken a little nap till somebody got there.
He found he does find Bruce Pritchard's office.
There you go.
I still don't understand how that happens.
Well, a place that big, nobody, not even like a janitor around that you can find. Somebody, anybody? Post on social media. Post on social media. You're stuck. I'm sure somebody will come get you.
I think he did. I think he went Instagram Live. I feel, didn't he?
Well, I mean, just be like, you don't have any contacts in your phone of like somebody who could like call somebody else to get you out.
Fucking Paul.
Yeah, Paul makes shit happen.
Yeah, you've got some pull. You're the biggest star in the company, and they'll come get you.
Get you, yeah. So I feel like there's something that could have been done. But yeah, anyways, getting back to Backlash here. Yeah, great crowd all night. Definitely even rivaling, last year's Backlash of Puerto Rico. That crowd was amazing. Definitely elevated, what otherwise would have been a pretty definitely kind of a B show, but we'll talk about it. A show that only 5 matches, but yeah, the crowd made each match seem important and seem maybe better than it was. So really good stuff. And yeah, we started out with what wasn't billed originally as a street fight, but yeah, these guys, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, taking on Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa, started brawling immediately around ringside, getting out of control. We send the geeks out there to try to break it up. Owens starts stunnering some of the French wrestlers. I mean, security guards, left and right. Nick Aldis comes out and says, "Oh, well, you guys want to fight? Well, all right. Street fight it is." And we get a little no rules, no DQ, no count out, street fight. And yeah, I mean, nothing groundbreaking as far as street fights go, but the crowd again super into literally every move, everything these guys did. They brawled in the crowd a little bit. We mentioned the production. At least, at one point they were separated. But hey, we went split screen. What a concept, right? I can watch these guys up here, watch the guys over here. Very simple. I appreciated that because we haven't gotten that a whole lot. We had a lot of kind of brawling around the announce tables, some backdrops and whatnot on the announce tables. We had an RKO on the announce table at one point that didn't break.
Those tables weren't breaking this. No, a couple of times.
Hey, I don't think that was supposed to, but but there you go. They brought out some other tables from around the ring, which apparently these days just get you a pop. If you want to get a pop in WWE, get a table because
tables are more over.
Tables are the most over things in the company at any given point in time. We had a couple of table spots, splash off through a table. We had a Samoan drop through the table. We had that disgusting spot where Kevin Owens did like that sort of suplex brainbuster thing to Tama on the chairs. That was gross.
Fisherman buster thing,
whatever it was, kind of a fisherman brainbuster sort of a thing. That was disgusting. That was nuts. And then all kind of broke down until Tonga Loa makes his debut from under the ring, and I know some stuff came out on social media from some other angles where he almost missed his cue, I think, because of the crowd, and almost missed his cue to come up front of the ring. The ref kind of pulled himself out a little bit, but which again, even on camera, I bought it because the camera angle they had where you didn't see that side, like it still looked good because then he popped up right afterwards, and we're like, oh, okay, that looked good. And then it was a little wonky, but we get a reunion of the Gorillas of Destiny. So they get both the Tongas in here and help them to get the victory. These guys go over, but we have a new member of the new bloodline, if you will. So JPO, your thought? Yeah, no, please go hit it. Keep it going.
Oh, I was just doing the bloodline thing. I wasn't trying to say.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Point of order, sir. Point of order. No, it's all good. But
bloodline, yeah.
I was gonna go to you regardless. Yeah, no, your thoughts on this whole angle and the debut and the match and everything. So hit me.
Yeah, no, I mean, fun way to begin the night. You know what I mean? Just a fun.
That none of us predicted, by the way.
I know. In retrospect, that tracks. I guess you know. Yeah. I'm trying to think maybe a face can win the first match, singles match, but it just goes with the crazy tag match. Which again, to our defense, didn't know it was going to be this no DQ crazy match. I figured it was a more simpler match. So I think what happened makes more sense, But match was fun here. You know what I mean? Not much to complain about here. I was looking at 10 times with all the names. Tama Tanga Tanga Bit.
David Loa Tonga Tonga Tama Tanga Tanga
Tama Tanga Tama Tunga. The guy making his debut looked good. The guy making his actual debut, fun seeing it. Like I said, a lot of people didn't necessarily see that one coming because it seemed like the rumors are going the other way for some reason. But GOD's full on in. And WWE now another fun pre-show note. You can see CM Punk. When Big E's like, Tama Tanga, formerly Gorillas of Destiny in New Japan, CM Punk goes, "Are we allowed to?
We're allowed to say that now? We can talk about New Japan?"
Yeah. CM Punk literally goes, "You're about to get in trouble."
like with we'll talk about later. Well, like Cody and AJ, we can talk about Bullet Club. They were in the Bullet Club years ago. We can talk about that. Oh, okay, cool.
He doesn't. CM Punk's still in the old mindset here. He's like, that's like back in my day.
Does that mean I could talk about like Ring of Honor and stuff I've done with people in there? What?
Wrestling? You can say the word of wrestling?
I can say wrestling fans. I can say we're fighting for a championship, like a belt. I could say shit like this.
Cool. I think it was belt that he hated. Right?
No, Vince did not want you to say belt. He wanted you to say championship.
Right.
Championship, and fans. It was the universe, not the fans.
Gabe Sapolsky, too, of Ring of Honor. I saw him getting mad at Roderick Strong at FIP for saying belt instead of championship. Fucking championship. You can see him from the rafters. Like a fucking championship.
It's a championship belt, though. Like, it's a belt.
The two things that mutually.
I get it, but not to the degree of getting mad over it. Like, I think championship's better, but not to the degree of, like, anger or, like, punishment. But anyway, good match, a fun match. Nobody can start off with, keeps us glued into this whole bloodline thing here. We now have two fresh faces, really, which is kind of cool. So, hell yeah.
Yeah, Richie?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I thought the match was great, but bolstered by the crowd. I did appreciate like when Randy Orton came out, the crowd was literally just singing his song. That was great. All the words,
You could tell Orton was just like soaking it in. He like gets up on the turnbuckle, just stands there, just listening. Yeah, and yeah, then we get to the chorus. Ah, yeah, boys. No, they're just going full blast. That was awesome. That was great.
That was great.
I love this new Randy Orton that seems to just be having fun. You know what I mean? Like,
he's having a good time.
I saw a cool Instagram video of him like RKOing his like brother-in-law into the pool. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude! Because I feel like 10 years ago, Randy Orton would never post something like that, and now he's just kind of having fun.
Yeah. So it's a really good match. I expect. I should have known that Takaloa was a possibility, big possibility. I expect Jacob Fatu to join them eventually. I did read somewhere that they're apprehensive because obviously they're building Sol Sikoa as this like big, mean kind of force, but they think just because Jacob Fatu's got this natural aura of being like, kind of mean or whatever, that it might overshadow his presence, might overshadow Solo.
Well, here's the thing though. But I'm starting to think now that they have the Guerrillas of Destiny and Solo on one side, if Jacob joins the Usos as their muscle and their big, mean, scary guy, because they kind of need one.
I said that last show. I said possibility. Like
there's a possibility, and to think about if they're gonna build to like this feud, and eventually I'm assuming a War Games match, and they each have the one guy. One's got Roman, one's got The Rock. That would make sense. You got to have a 4-on-4, and with Jacob and the Fatu thing, it's Rikishi's kids, that you could stick with the Fatu thing and that connection. And then, like you said, you got Solo and the Guerrillas of Destiny on the other side, kind of this new guard. Like, I almost see when Jacob debuts, it's going to be with the Usos as their big, mean, scary guy that they kind of need at this point, because they're up against a bunch of big, mean, scary guys right now.
Yeah, I can see that happening. But, so... But I mean, they're doing a good job at making me like, how long's the Bloodline storyline? I'm going like for a long time, and
4 years or something. Yeah,
I'm still invested. Like, there's been bumps on the road here and there, like with Jimmy turning heel and that not making sense necessarily. But for the most part, I've been invested. So good on them. And this match is great.
Well, it's fresh now because it's like it's a Civil War thing, new bloodline, old bloodline. Yeah, I mean, there's a different dynamic now. So Roman will come back. He's going to be a babyface. That's kind of inevitable. So that'll kind of freshen things up. But it'll be earned this time, not like forced babyface with Vince.
You can tell the crowd's going to like pop big because they were chanting, "We want Roman." The crowd was chanting, "We want Roman."
Yeah. No, I mean, he'll be back eventually, obviously, for some of the shows. But yeah, I mean,
they've been labeled as the bloodline because at least 2021 you can find them with matches as the bloodline. So it's been at least 3 going on 4 years.
Yeah, no, it's been for a while, but this is a great way to kind of freshen things up, and you obviously kind of see where they're going. Like we said, more than likely they're going to do a War Games match, Bloodline versus Bloodline, then some more stuff at WrestleMania. But we have some stuff to look forward to. Whatever they do at SummerSlam, I mean, if you can get the Usos back together and do the Usos versus the Guerrillas of Destiny in a tag match, that could be fun. Getting those guys back, having the Usos back as a tag team is big money. So that's obviously somewhere probably down the line. Good stuff going on all around. So that could be fun. We went on to the ladies right after that. Bayley retaining her championship.
Ooh, it's a lady.
It's a lady.
Hello, lady.
Shout Tim Meadows.
Tim Meadows, the ladies, man. Bayley defeating Naomi and Tiffany Stratton in a triple threat match here. I mean, I kind of knew the money was on Bayley for the most part. I just wanted to see if they pull the trigger on Tiffany Stratton, but obviously they're not ready to do that yet. They will probably at some point, I'm sure. She's getting a good push. They're treating her pretty well right now. But it is what we thought, that Naomi was the one who took the pin. We all kind of predicted that as well, no matter what it was going to be, and that happened. But a solid little 3-way match, again, elevated, I think, by the crowd. Really into Bayley, really into Stratton as well, like super, super into her. Tiffy time was alive and well in France. They were ready for it, they had some good spots here and there. Kind of your standard sort of put one person out of the ring, do some spots, get the other person in there, do some spots, a few little bit of brawling on the outside and whatnot. The Alabama Slam stuff looked pretty good, though, with Stratton using that kind of as one of her go-to moves. I don't mind that. Bayley retaining her thing. Richie, what do you think of this one?
Yeah, I liked it. Certainly, I think most of the matches here were pretty good. There were there were a couple of sloppy moments here, but like like none of them that really stood out like as to ruin the whole match. But there was like I think the one moment where like Naomi like took like half an hour to break it, almost looked like half an hour to break up a pin, but like it got there. But yeah, but it was a good match. It did what it needed to do. Every time like friends pin like a friend pins another friend, I just assume I'm like, oh no, they're gonna Naomi heel turn. Oh there we go. No, nothing happened. We might see that down the road. I don't know, but no, I mean this makes sense. I maybe get like Bailey and Tiffany Stratton in a singles match, maybe down the road, maybe a SummerSlam or something. But I actually also I am kind of for Jacob's ideas. Like I think she could be like a favorite for Money in the Bank. So
yeah, I can see that.
So yeah, but I liked the match. I think there's nothing. Yeah, that was not nothing bad or anything. I think it was pretty good. I'm sort of like you in the sense that I don't really like. I love Bailey. I don't really like her finishes. Like the belly to Bailey has always been like it worked when she was like the babyface hugger gimmick, and then like the rose plant or whatever. It just looks like a weak finisher.
It looks bad. It looks bad. Yeah, it's either do the Bailey to belly or find something else. Yeah, or get a submission or something. I don't know anything. Just the rose plant thing is bad.
Or just use the elbow drop or something. She's still don't care with that. So yeah, but yeah, the match is pretty good. I'll say.
Yeah, JPO, what'd you think of this one?
No, another fun match here. Decent follow up to the opener. Good 3-way. I think Tiffany Stratton looked good. So I kind of said on the pre-show or our pre-show rather that like this might be kind of the first glance of like put her in a title match, see how she goes. Big pay-per-view moment. I think just like Chambers, she lived up to kind of pretty much everything she could have done. So I'm also with you guys. Like, I'm definitely down for a singles rematch. Or I think it's fun as far as being a really cocky Money in the Bank briefcase holder. She would be fucking probably pretty entertaining. So I'm down for that too. I thought this is good. You know what I mean? Not spectacular, but really good.
Yeah, no, solid. Again, solid, but enhanced by the crowd. I think that's the theme all night. Solid matches that were made, even more watchable and entertaining by this crowd being into literally everything, every blow, every move, every entrance, everything. So, speaking of entrances. My goodness gracious, to Jey Uso in his match with Damian Priest, that entrance he had. And who knew? Of course it was France and not us stupid Americans coming up with the idea of the flashlights, and dimming the lights for his entrance and making it even greater, with the bobbing up and down with the lights and everything. Because it's a hell of a visual. Looks like a rave, but in the best way. Yeah, they even just uploaded, Richie, that this entrance, like Jay's entrance, as a separate video on the WWE YouTube channel. It's just like, oh my God, look at this amazing entrance. And promote that stuff. It looks great. It makes you want to go to a show and do it yourself. That's a good thing. But Damian Priest retaining his title here against Jay. Again, I think Jay is a solid singles wrestler. I'm not totally sold on him as being like a world heavyweight champion type of wrestler. I think he's a better wrestler when he's doing the tag team thing just a little bit, just for me personally. But maybe he'll get better over time. So again, a solid match over here, made better by the crowd. I like the fact that Damian's going to get to probably hold his title for a little while, maybe at least until Clash or SummerSlam. We'll see. JPO, what do you think about this world heavyweight title match here?
Yeah, I'm kind of hate to agree with you, but I agree with you that it was solid. But there's something about him. I don't because at first I was really all excited for his singles run because I thought him and like Roman had these great storytelling like main event matches where I was like, oh yeah, he's in line, he's ready. And then kind of since then it's been like, okay, like the Mania match was all right. This match was, good. But like, again, if this was the main event, I would have been disappointed. Luckily, this was, third on the show. You know what I mean? Like I don't think I would have been satisfied if this was the main event. You know what I mean? So it was good. But as far as, a World Heavyweight Championship match, it's not the best we've seen. So, but again, it was solid. It's not bad by any means, but
Yeah, not bad. Richie?
Yeah, it was solid. Nothing to write home about. I think the most sort of noteworthy thing is the entrance. Like you could tell Jay was pretty emotional about it. Like he talked about it on line. And he also mentioned when he online about Bray Wyatt. So obviously, you think of the lights, you think of the fireflies and stuff as well. So he mentioned like remind him of that and kind of remind him of memories with Bray. But yeah, like that was a really would have been a really cool moment for him. But yeah, as a single, I sort of like I want Jay to be obviously he's really over, and I could see him maybe as a singles guy. Maybe he's the male dude, the male that wins the Money in the Bank this year. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. Like it's maybe not like he's definitely got like connection with the crowd. I just maybe match wise it's not clicking yet, but like the match is fine. So I'm surprised that they're doing the turn with Damien Priest and Bella like sort of this early. I thought maybe they'd do it down the line, but so we might get that prediction of Bella and Bella and Priest that we did for WrestleMania like probably a lot earlier than we were predicting. Like maybe a SummerSlam match or something. I don't know. Even though Bella was very ineffective in the match, he came out and immediately got speared. That was kind of fun. That was kind of fun.
Well, again, but I do like they kept the storyline going as far as he comes out there and Damien's telling them like asking what are you doing out here? Get out of here! Like I want to do this myself. Yeah, I mean they're fighting over that clashing in that way. So yeah, maybe they're it's I don't feel like it's being fast tracked. I mean I think it's pretty natural. They've had they've had promos where it's like they're kind of fighting over who's sort of taking the lead on certain things, like him and Balor, as far as like making decisions in the bloodline, or the Judgment Day, excuse me.
Yeah. But also like I like the idea of like Rhea leaves for injury, and then like she comes back, and there's just no Judgment Day to come back to. She's like, what the hell happened? Like because there's an Easter egg that like Liv Morgan posted a photo, which is an Easter egg, right? Where she posted a photo, and there's one little thing of note. She's got like a Dominic's bandana in her pocket. So I don't know if they've sown the seeds of like she's got an affair going with Dom, but so I feel like she's gonna when the time Mommy comes back, she's gonna have no Judgment Day to come back to. But as far as the match goes,
they could play into that as part of the storyline though. Rhea, Mommy leaves and everything's falling apart. Oh, what the hell? She was the glue that was holding everything together.
Don't forget, it's Liv and Rhea are gonna definitely resume their feud. So that's perfect for their feud of like, oh hey, not only did I fucking make you vacate the title,
and you home wrecked my group.
I'm also booking your dom.
Yeah, right.
She said like Liv said, but like earlier on, like when I think Liv lost an contender match or something, she's like, I'm gonna, I'm gonna take everything from you. So it ties in. But yeah, like the match is cool. I like the South of Heaven as a finisher. I think that's a cool move, and it was cool for the second rope. But yeah. I actually like Damien Priest in general. Like I think his presentation's cool. I think he's got a cool look. I don't get why they're pushing him. I'm happy for the guy. So hopefully, once the title runs over, they still push him to a high degree.
I think he's still going to get pushed as like a top guy because I think he's going to be a baby face. Like he's going to be a pretty top baby face. Like the rest of the year, I think. So they'll push him. They'll push him.
I'm really starting to be quite a big fan of him. I think if they go to if they go with him as a babyface and they go back to Puerto Rico, he'll be a big deal. So
no, I could see them doing that. Yeah, and coming back as kind of a big hero this time. Yeah, so it could work because they didn't dislike him at Backlash because they knew he was Puerto Rican. It's just Bad Bunny was Bad Bunny, so and that show just became a concert. So it just was what it was. So then we went to maybe sort of the sloppiest match of the night with the most kind of things kind of falling apart. It still had cool moments, but I think most people would agree. Probably the low point of the show, at least match-wise. Again, the crowd was still there, but match-wise, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill capturing those women's tag team titles against the Kabuki Warriors. Because there was some miscommunications here. I think even with the referee, with who was legal. Like stopping kind of things coming to a halt. I would say even Cargill's like selling was not really on point in this. She's been in submission, just kind of laying there. She still needs some work as far as things to do, some transitions. But hey, that finish though, where she did that the spot where she caught him, up on the shoulders, flip around on the shoulders into the thing, like that was impressive. That was she's certainly very capable of doing some very cool stuff. There's still some good spots, but maybe not the greatest match of her career, obviously. But we'll see. Maybe she'll keep getting better. But yeah, Richie, what do you think of this one overall?
Yeah, it's probably the worst match on the show, but like it kind of says something about the show because the match. I don't think the match was bad necessarily. I think there's just a lot of things that just didn't work. I think there was a case of the referee not having a good night, like in this match. Yeah, that thing just got like kind of lost. Where I think Kyrie Sane was legal at one point, the legal person, and then he was like, no, you're not legal, and it made things confusing. And then and then apparently I mean that's another person. Asuka's injured at the moment, so so Asuka was doing the match hurt. That probably hindered it a bit, and and I think Jade has a lot of star power. She's charismatic and she's I think she'll get there, but she's still a bit green, and she wasn't selling where she could. There's a couple of sloppy moments here and there. But and then in the end, where it was a cool moment with what did she call the move? Whatever. The glam slam. I
think they call it jaded. Is that what she calls it? Jaded. Yeah. The face plant slam thing, whatever. Huh? Yeah.
Was it the Stormbreaker? Am I making that up?
In AEW, you mean?
That might have been AEW. It was, yeah.
I don't remember what she called in AEW, but I think it's the same move.
But then Asuka gets pinned after she takes a KOD on top of Kyrie, but apparently maybe they'll make light of this, but Asuka wasn't the legal. She actually wasn't a legal person in the match at the time. It was actually Kyrie. So bit of a mix around, but I think the crowd still made the match watchable. It was fine. I think it would be way more noticeable if it was the crowd was dead and I feel like not shit on American crowds. I feel like
American crowds are shit. What the fuck?
I'm going to.
That's like you're about to say something where when people go, I'm not racist, but
yeah, I know.
I feel like I'm not gonna shit on the crowds, but I'm gonna shit on the American crowds. Okay, go ahead, please. Shit on this. Go ahead, tear us down. Go ahead, please. Us dumb Americans, please.
Just I don't think when they see a sloppy moment, right? That you can hear probably American crowds going, you'll hear smattering chants of botchamania or you fucked up. Where it's just I think the French is be more polite about it. Just
France thing. The UK crowds are dicks about it too, so I don't want to hear that.
I know, but I'm saying Americans because it's more often.
I feel like Canadian crowds would do the same thing, Richie. So I don't see this I don't think it's exclusive to America.
I'm just saying Americans because they're there more often than not. Anyway,
sure. I'll think about that next time they go to Australia and I hear you fucked up, champ. All right, JP, what'd you think of this tag match?
I was trying to figure out what Jade Cargill's finisher. Yeah, so it is Jaden, at least in the WWE. Anyway, you guys are being polite by saying maybe the worst match of the night. You're dancing around. Yeah, it's the worst match of the night, for sure. But like Richie said, that's actually in a weird way a backhanded compliment because it could be worse. Yeah, I don't know. I think Jade is still very much finding her footing, and I mean that literally and physically because I feel like she's still kind of. You can see she's thinking it through. You know what I mean? You can see it in her eyes. I mean, they're not that bad. The finisher was cool. You know what I mean? At least we had a title change here. Even the title change was kind of predictable. That's kind of my only qualm with this show is that, this was a very predictable show, kind of similar to last year, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know. The pay-per-view watches were pretty down, which, unless you're invested in the stories and the wrestlers themselves, you could argue this was a skippable pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? So, but not that bad. But easily the worst match of the night.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was dancing around it, but to me, what it was I didn't find anything unwatchable because the crowd made everything watchable. So even if it was a sloppy,
I had fun with this. I
didn't skip through anything.
Almost a backhanded compliment in saying this is the worst match, and I still watch and enjoy it.
No, for sure. So yeah, definitely. But yeah, we'll see what happens going forward with Jade and Bianca. Obviously, they'll probably team for a while until the inevitable, start, cracks start to form. But hopefully, they'll kind of stretch that out a little bit, give her a chance to have some more matches, get some things under her belt before she faces Bianca in a singles match. But yeah, we got to our main event. Again, pretty predictable, like I said, JPO, as far as the outcome. But hey, we were all hoping they would still have a really good match. I think they delivered a very good match. Again, the crowd making this thing, pretty epic in scope, from them singing Cody's song pretty much lyric for lyric, much like Randy Orton. I know we posted about the thing, and a lot of people posted on social media about the watches with the decibel levels. I think it got up to 120 during the woes in Cody's entrance, so yeah, very, very loud for that. Yeah, the phenomenal soccer chant they were doing for AJ was a lot of fun throughout the match. Every time he would hit a move, make a comeback, they'd start doing that. That was a lot of fun. Good stuff all around for there. But yeah, I mean, again, just a really, really solid match from these guys. I think, yeah, they did some pretty cool stuff. There was like that kind of brainbuster thing on the apron that looked pretty gross, with those guys. I think they did a good job not spamming the finishers in this match. Like I think some of these main events have done. Because Cody only hit the one crossroads and won the match, right? So I mean, yeah, they didn't like spam a whole bunch of that. AJ teased
the match would do.
yeah, like AJ teased the Clash, but didn't actually hit it. Teased the phenomenal form, didn't actually hit it. So they did a good job of kind of protecting the finishers a little bit more, which I would hope they would do kind of going forward. I like when they don't just have a match where they spam finishers, 10 times in a row and just see who can hit the most of them. But yeah, really, really good stuff here as we kind of expected these guys to do. Maybe one of AJ's better matches in a while, I would say. Probably, at least in the last couple of months. But yeah, JPO, what do you think of this main event here? Again, pretty predictable, but good stuff. A lot of fun.
Fuck yeah. No, this is a great main event here, man. This lived up to the expectations of, I looked it up before. I think we talked on the show, and these two had never touched, not in a Rumble, not in a 3-way, 6-man, anything. And I was like, oh, that's kind of dope. That doesn't happen too often. These two top of their fields, they just miss each other, as AJ was kind of coming in, Cody was kind of on his way out and whatnot. So, yeah, it's good timing here. Yeah, no, I really liked it here. Yeah, the only qualm would be, I don't think anyone thought AJ was going to win. So there's a little bit of a set out because of that here, because, we finally finished his story. And also, too, AJ's not even coming off of a super hot streak. He lost in Mania. He won the SmackDown tournament or whatever for 2 matches. But that's why, again, I kind of wish he had won at Mania now, because I would have felt like there a little bit more of a slight, super slight, tiny chance. But that's the only qualm here. Otherwise, these two put on a great match here. I think, if you look at, this is the match I think we would have had in, a Ring of Honor or a TNA. I don't think they held back. This isn't just a typical WWE, main event you would have seen 5, 6 years ago. These two, I think, gave it their all here. I think even as far as, just a straightforward match, one of Cody's better matches, too, right up there with, anything he's done with Rollins or whoever. Just really tight match. Happy to see it. And, yeah.
No, good stuff all around, Richie.
Shit.
Yeah, I think this match spurred on the discussion that if, the WWE style is going away, events like the WWE style where it's a certain type of matches where it's you could kind of where it's a lot of WWE styles more slow pace. It's felt like a match you could see on the Ring of Honor, like you said. So that was kind of cool.
I think just real quick, I'm sorry. I think I've heard rumblings that Triple H has definitely given the guys a little more leniency to do the kind of matches they want to do, again, within reason. He doesn't want to go out there and kill each other, start dropping each other on their heads or anything like that over and over again, but at least to be more creative, to take some risks, do some bigger moves, do a more side of indie style match, protect those finishers. Because, I think Vince was very high on that stuff. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't think you would have seen that brainbuster.
Absolutely not. Vince did not want to do that, period, at all.
So,
and again,
no.
Doing it, and he doesn't have to do that every match. Just in the big one, the big one, it was appropriate for that match to bust out a move like that. You know what I mean? Or some of these guys, maybe they bust out something they haven't done in a long time. But I have heard some guys have talked about they've been given a lot more leniency to do the kind of match they want to do. for sure.
But yeah, no, it was a great match, and then the crowd bolstered it again. Like we sort of talked before you got here, like the what they were chanting all night is like the 1, 2, sacre bleu, again, which would we were talking about. It's a good chant, but like like they didn't stop doing that chant the whole night. That would get annoying after a while. It would be like
after every 2 count, it got a little annoying. That was the only thing I would knock the crowd for. Every single 2 count, that got a little repetitive.
It's sort of like how I akin it to that dude who kept chanting Super Dragon. That meme. I'm like, okay, it's enough now. Shut up. But the match itself was great. But yeah, I guess the result was sort of never in doubt, unless like you're unless you're more on the kickoff panel who gets paid to have dumb takes, or fake dumb takes.
They must say someone's got to say AJ. One of you,
one of you.
We can't have everybody just give the same predictions like those Lonely Marks guy do for their show.
It'd be great if the entire CM Punk was like, Cody, Biggie, Cody, Samantha.
I know.
Ask me, come on, Cody.
Someone has to look.
All right, next match.
Someone has to look stupid like Sam Roberts. I really Sam Roberts. Anyway, I'm not a fan of him in predictions. Anyway, I think he's an idiot. Anyway,
I'll give Sam credit. He's an indie guy, so shout out to Sam.
I know.
Well, I'm an old school Opie and Anthony fan. He was on the Opie and Anthony show, and I like Sam from that.
Yeah.
But no, he's
Sam did what I wish I could have done. You know what I mean? Like he fucking worked.
Sam. They used to rib him about wrestling in the early days of Open Anthony. I can send you guys some fun videos where like they would rib him because he would basically in character on the radio show would believe anything the WWE did. So they would have the stuff where Vince blew himself up in the limo. They would go, "I'm sure, Sam, you were just in tears this morning when you came in. You're in mourning." And it's just like, oh, it's a tragic event that's happened on television, and he would just play it straight. Like, and then when unfortunately the Benoit thing happened, and then Vince did the press conference, about that. They were like, "But Sam, I thought that Vince was dead. He was dead, though. Now I can't believe that he's alive." And he's be like, "Well, I mean, we're all very relieved that he's alive." And I always had that hope, that shred of hope he was okay. Like they would mess him with that. The Donald Trump stuff, like buying Raw, wasn't in the newspapers. He'd be like, "Oh, I mean, maybe it's on page 6 or something, or WWE got the exclusive story, so it's not in the papers, it's not on CNN. They even fuck with him all the time. It's a lot of fun." So,
well, yeah, I guess I should be harsh. I guess I just don't like I'm not a huge fan of like that. We talked about later. I'm a huge fan of the kickoff panel in general, and that some of the like things that get people to say. Like, I guess Sam was all right. Pete Rosenberg or whatever that guy is, he's boring as shit.
I don't mind him either. Richie just hates all these panels.
You know what? I don't like it.
You know what, Richie? You're jealous. You're just jealous.
I am.
I am too.
No. But yeah, anyway, anyway, going back to the match, great match, and it was cool. That Super Cody cutter was great. That looked kind of cool.
Rosenberg
looked very slick. That Super Cutter, that Super Cody cutter, and then the Crossroads, and one Crossroads got it done. I wouldn't mind seeing them run it back sometime. Whether maybe the finish is more in question. But yeah, I don't know what you do with Cody from here. Seems like his direction is a bit more not as not as clear as maybe Damian Priest maybe is. So I don't know what you do from there. Like maybe I don't know if they're waiting for a rematch with Roman at SummerSlam. I don't know, but yeah.
I thought they were gonna go with like Cody and Rock when he comes back SummerSlam.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know when they're going to do that, but yeah. But that doesn't necessarily need to be for a title, but I'm assuming it might be.
The Rock, who pees in bottles and is late all the time.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about that. Well, we talked about the guy who like runs his production company. He used to be his pee bottle guy, and now he's like, he's like running his production company.
Just to give The Rock some potential credit here, I mean, people can work their way up, because I heard Cornette say that too, and I'm like, all right, the guy was a really good pee bottle handler. So he probably got promoted.
He
to
did a great
assistant.
job, you know. He
No.
disposed of it properly. Yeah, he did a great job. No.
I'm just saying, people do work their way up. You know, just saying.
So this is a message out there for his current pee bottle handler. If you're
I can't seem to do your job really well over the next 10
if you
years.
apply yourself, you
Yeah.
could be on his next production.
If
company.
you can succeed anywhere, and as we've seen in it's Hollywood, where Hollywood you can fail upwards. You know, as we've seen many times with people who have made horrendous movies and continue to get work, you can just keep failing upwards. So you know what? Why not stick to your dreams?
The reason we got into that conversation, JP, because they're making another Death of WCW. Damn it.
Anyways. We'll come back to that in a second. No, but yeah, I'm with you as far as we'll see where they go with Cody. If he even has a match at King of the Ring, I don't think he even necessarily needs to, but you know, or will he? Or if he just like maybe faces the winner of the King of the Ring, or they work towards something in there. Depending on who wins. Because obviously, I guess if it's a Raw guy, they're on different brands though, but they've come back on that before, right?
Yeah,
I know they usually try to like pimp out those Saudi shows. So I'd be surprised if he's got nothing to do.
No, I mean, I just wonder what he's gonna do. Like, I'm trying to think of, like Richie was saying, who would he face if he had a match? Because we're not that far from it. We're only like 2 weeks away or something from King of the Ring. So, you know, maybe we'll find out on SmackDown what direction they're going in for his next opponent. We'll see. But
I was just gonna say, JPO, that like the way we when we talk about certain promotions, the production is the reason we're talking about that is because Certain Back Promotions is behind producing yet another Death of WCW documentary, and we're lamenting about how do we really need another one? Like,
do we need another documentary or another thing about the Death of WCW?
I know the things.
Not sure what more you need to kind of uncover there.
Yeah, and because that was another thing. Like Ric Flair's upset because he wasn't asked to be interviewed for the project. I'm like, so that's how we come up with that show.
Bring it out for more money, and maybe the untold story, more untold stories from behind the scenes. But I feel like, even like Bischoff and Russo have talked to death about the death of WCW. So it's like I don't know how much more you can wring out of that story.
There are people who are.
They had that documentary years ago, and there's been a book. I don't know.
The Monday Night Wars series, all that shit. Yeah.
There are people now who are adults who weren't around when WCW was alive. You know, I mean, who weren't around when WCW, like, who don't know what WCW was. You know what I mean? Like,
you want me to be interested? Make it an actual production with actors. Cast Eric Bischoff. Cast Vince McMahon. Then I'm in.
Oh yeah, do like an actual Monday Night Wars movie or something. Yeah, like an actual thing.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's been crazier ideas. We need more wrestling movies. Make it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, with actors instead of things. Yeah, Iron Claw style. Let's do it. Why not? There's plenty of those stories that can be told, or these biopics they're trying to get done and whatnot. So we still haven't got that Hulk Hogan movie yet. From Hemsworth. I feel like that's been in development for like 5 years now, and we haven't heard anything since then.
I think Chris Hemsworth was asked about it, and he basically said he didn't know. It's on the back burner.
It's just sitting there. Yeah.
And then I know we've got. I think there is a Ric Flair one being talked about. I think there's a Kurt Angle one being talked about. I know there's a Mildred Burke movie in production. That is definitely coming out. I know there was a Vince movie, but I don't know now.
That's not happening anymore. No.
No. Not that one anyway, because that one I believe was also a endorsed one. So
yeah.
And then
the unauthorized Vince McMahon story.
It would have to be a couple looking to make a real.
I think Natalia was shopping around the idea of like a Hart family movie. So don't know if where that's at, but I think there's a few things. I think maybe Iron Claw open up some doors there. I've got some possibilities.
Sure. yeah, no, we'll see what happens in the future. But yeah, a little bit of a shorter show today. Not much else going on, so we'll kind of probably wrap it up there for this week. A little up in the air as to whether or not we'll have a show next week. Just putting that out there because I'm not going to be here. Jacob would have to run the stream, and there's just not a whole lot going on in the wrestling world. But in 2 weeks, the week after that, we'll be doing predictions for 2 different shows because Double or Nothing and King of the Ring on the same weekend. So
who won Backlash?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was going to ask.
JPO, you and Mr. Barber won the Backlash predictions. So yes. You both tied 5 for 5, but nobody got the opening match right, so it was still a tie. So yes, right. And we didn't do any goofy
so next week's in the air.
It's up in the air. I just don't know. Like you guys could potentially do one. I just probably wouldn't be there. So if you guys want to do something, that's fine. I'm just throwing it out there. Right. And there's just not a lot going on. So if y'all wanted to do something, you could do something. Barber, I know Jacob Barber kind of told me what he sort of wants to do, sort of a blind ranking type thing, like we've done on a podcast about movies, just with wrestlers. Okay. And we could each pick our own pick an era or a promotion, and then you get wrestlers from that era or promotion and have to do a blind ranking 1 through 20 sort of thing, like we do on there. You have a wheel of 30 people, and you just spin the wheel, and you have to blind rank them 1 through 20. So without knowing who's coming next. So we've done that on a podcast, but it was a lot of fun. We do a wrestling version here on the show. I know he wants to do something like that, but JPO, obviously, whatever you want to do is up to you. So
I will say this. I will say, I think. Obviously, when it comes down to when people's doing a specific thing like that, I think it's better with pretty much all of us here. When I don't know, I don't know. Maybe we do just have a week off. We'll talk about it, but
I'm just thinking it might be leaning towards just us taking a week off since there's not going to be much going on anyways, and just coming back strong the week after that with 2 different prediction shows, and we could catch up on the news and all that. We'll talk about behind the scenes. We'll see. So it's kind of 50-50 right now. We'll talk about it. But yeah, other than that, we'll figure it out and see. We'll chat. JPO, what you got going on outside of the wrestling world or inside the wrestling world? You do wrestling related stuff too, but what you got going on?
We just finished round 1 of the ASAT Tag Tournament.
Hey,
wondering where the last match was. It happened in the Rio de Janeiro. So don't look for the last match to air, but it happened. So we started trying to do round 2, but now round 2 is giving me problems, and we were talking about the 30th or some shit. People, clear up your schedules. So I'm going to try to get round 2 started.
You only need 30 minutes. This doesn't take that long. You can't carve out 30 minutes. Come on, people. Come on. I
just don't believe him. They're literally the last thing I saw in the chat was the 28th. Come on, guys.
Come on. You guys can't carve 20 time for 20 questions out in your schedule. You can play.
Those are just 4 ways, basically.
Yeah.
And then other stuff on there. You got countdowns, you got some drafts, maybe. You've seen these people on Countdown. Pierce Wrestling, we just had a fun title match. Pez came in, did really good. Did he win? I don't know. Tune in to find out over at Pierce Wrestling, but he did really good. Richie did really
I won't
good.
say whether or not I won. I did better than I did in that ECW match. I'll say that. I did better than that.
I did too.
Our friend over at what is Malcolm's channel? What's that called?
Take 3 Productions.
Take 3 Productions. There you go. Shout out to Take 3 Productions. Why We Love Horror. Common Wrestling Trivia on Twitch. Other shit.
Yeah. Cool. Hey, let's hear it for other shit. All right.
Other shit.
Other shit. All right. Richie, what you got going on?
Yeah. All the places JP mentioned, basically. I'll be on CWT tomorrow doing the same Human Rule game that Cass got going. I'll be on Multiplex in a couple of weeks as well for first time there for a while. So check that out. And more importantly, other shit. So just check me out.
Including tomorrow night, you versus Brian in a tournament fight.
Tomorrow night as well.
One of your favorite TV shows.
Yeah, after my after being on CWT, tomorrow night TV shows. Me versus Brian. So
that reminds me, I need to make that bracket tomorrow after work. So cool. Thanks for reminding me. No, it's okay. I can put that together. I can put those together in 45 minutes. No big deal. Especially if I just pull IMDb shit. It's fine. So those are easy. I've also got a decent amount of stuff I'm kind of cramming in before I go on vacation this weekend. So if anybody's trying to book me this weekend, I'm sorry. I've got my schedule is crammed full before I leave Asheville. But yeah, we've got tournament fights obviously tomorrow night again. Brian and Richie in their TV shows. Saturday night I've got a over on And I Quote Ryan Permanent's channel. We're doing our Mummy watch along. So I've been talking a lot of Mummy recently for the 25th anniversary, but we're doing our kind of commentary watch along. So you can check that out. And then right after that, to celebrate kind of Star Wars month, Wolfman and I will be doing our monthly mistake over on Mega Movie Z. We'll be doing a Star Wars movie, but it's going to be Ewoks, The Battle for Endor, the one with Wilford Brimley. So we'll be doing a treat along to that. So yeah, basically you take a shot every time Wilford Brimley gets pissed off at the Ewoks, and then you die. So that's how that works. That's most of that movie. But Sunday night podcast about movies. Me and Jacob will be back talking about movies from 1979. So we'll be talking Rock and Roll High School, Alien, Apocalypse Now, and The Jerk. So that is our lineup for a podcast about movies. And then right after that, I'll be on with Purpose and again doing Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, our 10th anniversary watch along. So a lot of stuff with him. And then that's most of the stuff going on. So yeah, everything like JPO said, I'm also on Why We Love Horror trivia and Pierce Code trivia, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, that's going to be it for tonight. JPO is taking us out musically, but I'm mostly goodbye for everybody. For JPO, for Richie, get well soon, Barbara. Thanks a lot. We'll see you guys next time on the Lonely Bars.
Thank you, Ohio.